wind to blow and the sea getting rough. Lord, we're calling, 'cause the time is tough. Hurricane Melissa, she a rage outside, but you are the shelter where we can hide. The lightning flash and the thunder roll, but you're still the master of every soul. We lift our eyes to the hill and pray, Lord have mercy, keep us today. Lord have mercy in the storm tonight. Cover your people in your holy light. Melissa coming down, but we won't fear, 'cause we know, sweet Jesus, you're near. Hold we close through the pouring rain. Speak your peace and still the pain. Lord have mercy, keep we strong. Through this storm we'll sing your song. Roof might shake and the water rise, but faith still shine in our eyes. Every heart cry, oh Lord, be near. We trust in you, we have no fear. You calm the sea in Galilee, so calm this one for we plead. If you can still this storm back then, you can do it once more again. Lord have mercy in the storm tonight. Cover your people in your holy light. Melissa coming down, but we won't fear, 'cause we know, sweet Jesus, you're near. Hold we close through the pouring rain. Speak your peace and still the pain. Lord have mercy, keep we strong. Through this storm we'll sing your song. Jah, you reign above the thunder sound. Your mercy flow and trouble come down. Protect the children, the old, the weak. Your strength we search, it's you we seek. If the wind must blow, let your will be done. But shine through darkness with your sun. After the storm, let the rainbow show that you still love we. This we know. Lord have mercy in the storm tonight. Cover your people in your holy light. Melissa coming down, but we won't fear, 'cause we know, sweet Jesus, you're near. Hold we close through the pouring rain. Speak your peace and still the pain. Lord have mercy, keep we strong. Through this storm we'll sing your song. Oh Lord, keep Jamaica in your hand. Every sea, every shore, every land. Melissa may come, but you still reign. Peace in the tempest, mercy in the rain.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Good evening, boys and girls, and welcome to the Marcia Witt Show. We are coming to you live from Barbados, and you just heard the national anthem of Barbados, and I had in my hand. Forgot to tell you because some people are joining for the first time. This is the national flag of Barbados. And we are happy to come to you tonight live from Barbados, right here in the Caribbean, where, all of a sudden we are facing a lot of turmoil in the Caribbean. I tell you, this is not just the land of, place of sun, sea, and sand and relaxation, and where we come to enjoy and tourists come here for pleasure. We are in this period of natural disasters. We just had the Hurricane Melissa that ravaged Jamaica, and not just Jamaica. We're focusing on Jamaica, but let's not forget Haiti. Let us not forget Haiti. Jamaica saw, at the moment, the last time we were on, we said that there were 7 deaths. The last time I checked today, there was 19. There were 19 deaths in Jamaica. The numbers seem to be climbing. I don't know if by the time we're done if Dave would have new numbers for us. But as far as the last time I checked, there were 19. There were 25 in Haiti. So I know we're focusing on Jamaica, but what about Cuba? It is throughout the entire Caribbean. We know of one in the Dominican Republic. We are in a very, very trying time here in the Caribbean, and our title for tonight is The People versus the System, because in the midst of all of this Caribbean, we have questions to our leaders. We need to ask our leaders some serious questions right here in the Caribbean, as we are ultimately, what it seems, we're under fire. We're under fire. Is it the war, the impending war between the U.S. and Venezuela? Or is it the war with the elements, with the weather? From Barbados to Jamaica, from Guyana to Tanzania. Tonight we're going to touch on Tanzania. The people are speaking up, demanding answers and challenging the system. Tonight, the people in Trinidad are asking questions. They want answers, leaders. Tonight, on the people versus the system, freedom under fire in the Caribbean, we bring you stories behind the headlines. Right here in Barbados, we're going to talk about the taxi drivers who are still battling Uber. Schools unready. So we're having our own domestic war going on. Us and this, incompetent government. Politicians keep playing games with us here in Barbados. In Jamaica, a hurricane hits us. A smart city plan rises. Is this coincidence, viewers, or calculated? We're going to talk about that tonight. What about Guyana? Azzuddin Mohammed's arrest raises urgent questions, people, about justice and democracy. The question is the arrest legitimate, or does it have anything to do with the swearing in of Mr. Mohammed on Monday as the opposition leader? You see, we have lots of questions. And across Trinidad, citizens fear war as tension rise between the U.S. and Venezuela. The entire defense force, air, sea, and land, it's been reported, has been called out. We've received call from Trinidad this evening telling us, family members of ours, of the person who called, said, our family members who are in the defense force, they're being called out. Everybody the entire defense force, the air, sea, and land. That's what the citizens are saying. They're saying bases are on full alert and the people are scared. How does one prepare for war? We're going to talk about that. The system pushes back, but the people will not be silenced. We have too many questions here in the Caribbean. So everybody starts to like and share, get everybody connecting with this tonight. We're gonna get into some stuff tonight, ask some serious questions that I think that you're going to find it very, very interesting. And we have joining us tonight Mr. Alwyn Bob and Apostle Linroy Canterbury will join us, and of course we will have the phone line open for you to call us and to give your thoughts and on what is happening. This is our region, and we are all interested in what's happening right here in Barbados. Lucinda Allen, good evening. Monica, good evening. Teroni, Cameron, how are you doing, Cameron? Good to see you. Judy Jukes, Carol, Marcia Miller, Ronald Archer, Sherry Berry. Guys, are you sharing? You sharing and liking? It's a pleasure to see you, Aline Jefferson, Lori Bob. I consider this service to you, everybody, and it's a pleasure from Dave and I to serve you tonight right here in the Caribbean. It's a pleasure. Owen Hines, Matthew B, we're here to serve, and it's a pleasure. We are honored. We're really honored. Dalton Spencer, and Margaret Jilks, good night. Mildred, good night. Mavis Lashley, good night. Pauline, good night. Beverly, how are you doing? Angela, are you sharing, Angela? So we come on and we research and we come on, but everybody has that responsibility. You're gonna like the show. Did you like it? Did you like? Right? You have a responsibility to like, okay? And a responsibility to share in your chat groups, your church chat groups. Mashio, good night. Aline, good night. Jelaine, how are you doing, Jelaine? Tonight we're talking about the people versus the system. We have lots of questions to ask. Cami, yes, happy Sabbath to those who celebrate Sabbath. Diana, how are you? Marva, Kari, Dina Nicholas. Oh my goodness, I would love Dino. Oh my goodness. Good night. I hope you stay on. I have some stuff to talk about Jamaica. I need you to hear it, and at some point I would love for you to call me in on the show. Listen, message me, Dino. Message me, Reverend Nichols. Is that the same Dino Nichols? I am a big girl. Oh my goodness. Harriet Hall, how are you? I think I haven't seen her in a little bit. Oh my goodness, Mystic Angel. Yeah, Dina Nichols. Lovely. Is Laurie with you? Okay, guys, I need you to really, those who are in Jamaica, share this out to Jamaicans, okay? Because very soon, we're gonna start with Tanzania. Share with you some quick words on Tanzania. Then we're going to go to Trinidad, then Guyana, then Jamaica, and then we can bring it home to Barbados. Okay, Barbados, of course, will take up most of the show. But folks, we got to hang in there. We're one Caribbean and some major things happening in this region. Okay, all right, good. Like and share, Dino Nichols. Jamaicans need to hear what I'm going to share tonight. And I'm sure some of them already know, and they just need to know that there are others outside of Jamaica who are asking questions, serious questions, okay? Thank you all. Cecilia, how you doing? Angela Burke, how are you, Angela? Lovely, lovely, lovely. Lovely, wonderful, wonderful, wonderful. Share it to Trinidad. Share it to Trinidad as well. Share it to Guyana, folks. Listen, we're one Caribbean, one Caribbean. Well, let's go right to Tanzania. Tanzania, some of you would know, but that it's very, very close to Kenya. And Dave and I were in Kenya early this year in January. And I know we wanted to go over to Tanzania, but we realized it would have taken too much to cross the border, etc. So we didn't go that time around, but we said we're going to go to Tanzania at some point. But guys, over the past, since Wednesday, between Wednesday and today, Friday, it's been reported through The Guardian that there are over 700 Tanzanians who have been killed in election protests. 700 people. Demonstrators took to streets after the president's main challengers were excluded from the ballot. So the people are saying that the elections are not fair in Tanzania. And so they were, yeah, there you have the pictures right there. Right there. And all of that's happening right there in Tanzania because they are saying the people, remember I said it's a people versus a system. The people are saying that the elections are not free and fair. And 700 of our Black brothers and sisters, it's been reported, have been killed during 3 days of election protest, the main opposition party has said. Protests erupted on election day on Wednesday over what demonstrators said was the stifling of the opposition after the exclusion of key candidates from the presidential ballot. John Kitoko, a spokesperson for Chadema opposition party, said that hundreds of people had been killed since that time. As we speak, the figure for deaths in Dar es Salaam is around 350, and for Mwanza, it is 200 plus. Added to figures from other places around the country, the overall figure is around 700, they said. And we are here mourning over 19 in Jamaica and 25 in Haiti. We don't know the numbers in Cuba and one in Dominican Republic. Here in 3 days, 700. It's been reported killed in Tanzania. He added that the toll could be much higher because killings could happen during a nighttime curfew that was imposed from Wednesday. Right? Amnesty International said it had received information that at least 100 people have been killed. That's what Amnesty is saying. The people on the ground said it's 700. The point is, regardless of how many, it's just too many. Right? And we want to, when you're saying your prayers, to remember Tanzania tonight. Now, what we've been told is that these protests have spilled over into Kenya. So the Kenyan young people have gotten involved as well, and Tanzania's police force, they have thrown tear gas into Kenya and have fired live bullets. So, there's just been all of this, eruption. People all over they're questioning the system. That is what is happening. Sonia Ashby is telling us, good night, Sonia. The president of Tanzania locked up the opposition members, thank you, so that they could not be fair elections. Can you imagine that? And that's what they are fighting. That's what that's their claim, that they're fighting. Actually, in April, the opposition leader himself was locked up because for cybercrime, something he must have said, and they locked him up. And that's what's happening in our world, folks. All over the world. And so I thought I wanted to bring that to you. Now, with that said, guys, let's go straight into Trinidad. Let's go into Trinidad. Now, unless you're under a rock, I am sure, even I think the children know that the U.S. has lots of military assets, lots of military equipment in the Caribbean Sea, close to Venezuela. In fact, they brought in more military equipment, military assets into the Caribbean Sea. Sharing it with Venezuela and the Caribbean, and it's piling up here in the region. And people are on pins and needles. I spoke with a friend, a very good friend of mine in Trinidad. She called me this evening, and just fear. They are very fearful over this weekend. I don't know if Dave can play for me that little clip there that was sent to us from Trinidad. We put the yes, thank you much. Go right ahead, please.
Listen to me, listen to me, listen to me. America is about to invade Venezuela. They're not letting the public know. They have all Trinidad troops on standby. I get word from the inside. So the public don't know. All you let whoever they need to know. The country on standby right now. The public do not know. We get direct information from soldier families that is what is going on right now. They have all the soldiers on base on standby because America about to invade Venezuela, and Maduro already said once that happen, they're going to attack Trinidad. So all pay attention, please pray. I am a wreck. And let everybody, loved ones know, please. I can't get to everybody one time. So yeah, let whoever need to know now, please. We don't know time and hour, but Trinidad troops is on standby.
Now, Dave, you could leave the flag up there just so we remember that what we're talking about. Everybody, when they log on, they can see what we're talking about. Now, we must hasten to say that that Donald Trump, the USA, they are denying that they are getting ready, that it's going to be happening soon. And the Prime Minister of Trinidad and Tobago is saying that they are not aware that it's going to be happening on this weekend or very soon or at all. Okay, so let's be clear about that. The authorities, both from Trinidad and the US, they are saying no. The challenge that they're having is that people are doubting them. The citizens are asking questions. Remember, we're talking about the people versus the system. Both TNT and USA, they have denied this, and they have said that the US is not poised to strike military targets in Venezuela in escalation against Maduro regime. They're saying no. However, what I'm saying to you, I have heard from people that I trust who has families, who have family members in the military, that they have been called in and they are on standby. Everybody, all parts of the military. So that the big question is, they're seeing all of this military equipment in their waters. They are concerned. There was even a video with a whole set of police vans. They had like police buses and sirens through Trinidad today. What is that all about? We're asking questions tonight. We've heard Trump say, well, I'm not going to be bombing, was it Iran? And in hours, they did it. So can we really believe the authorities of TNT and US, even though they're denying that the US is poised to strike military targets in Venezuela, that they're escalating this war against Maduro's regime? Have tensions grown between Venezuela and Trinidad and Tobago? Yes, they have, because the belief is that if Trump strikes any target in Venezuela, the Venezuelan authority, the government saying that they're going to strike Trinidad. That vice president of Venezuela, she's something else. And they have leveled out lots of threats. So no wonder the people of Trinidad are afraid tonight. And so I just wanted us to as we're dealing with our own issues in Barbados and in Guyana and all over the place and in Jamaica, that we remember Trinidad tonight. And I say to Trinidad to stay calm, but stay alert. I found there's a quote online about war, getting ready for war mentally, psychologically. And just even saying it, I can't believe we're here in the Caribbean and talking about that. War isn't only fought with weapons, it's fought in the mind first. So don't allow fear to consume you. Right? Discern what is truth from propaganda. All right, very important. This is why I said what the authority is saying, what the authorities are saying. What the Prime Minister of Trinidad and Tobago has said, what the President of the USA have said. They're saying that there is no threat of war. Well, at least not at this time. That's what Kamala said. Not at this time. Right? So is it propaganda or is it truth? Right? Build community resilience, right? Stay together, church groups, find ways of connecting in your community. Get your emergency supplies. It's just like you're gearing up for hurricane, water, canned goods, first aid, batteries, flashlights, basic medicines, copies of your IDs, communication. How are you going to reach family members and your friends when you don't have internet or cell service? Where are your safe zones? I try to identify those, right? Transportation, keep your cars fueled up. No multiple exit routes from your area. Just some basic things. You know, gather your spiritual and cultural strength. And trust me, this is not just a Trinidad, it's for the region. I can't believe that we're talking about preparing for war in the Caribbean. Wow. Yes, Randall, stock up supplies. The US, of course, they're not, especially Trump. He's not going to announce his strike date or time. Yeah, but I know they brought in more military assets today. Yeah. So, folks, can we just please keep in our prayers the people in Trinidad? Those in Trinidad, keep them in our thoughts and prayers. Okay, let's run over to Guyana at this point. We're going to go over to Guyana, and I know Dave has I believe he has a video that he's gonna share with us. But as I said, it's a people versus the system, and people want to know exactly what is happening in Guyana. Go right ahead, Dave. Thank you.
Asadeen Mohammed, the leader of the We Invest in Nationhood political party, and his father, Nazar Shal Mohammed, were arrested by police earlier today and brought here. Eve Leary, police headquarters. It is unclear at this point why Asadeen and his father have been arrested. The police, they are keeping it close to their chest. No other authority could comment on why the father and son have been arrested. HGP 90 News, we're here. All the journalists were out here. We will bring you the details as it unfolds. But so far, we were told that they have been brought to this location with an entire entourage, about 15 vehicles, escorting them into the compound of Eve Leary. Stay tuned. We'll bring you the updates as it unfolds.
Let me tell you, it's just one unrest after the next. Yes? unrest, one unrest after the next. You wonder what are we doing here? What is happening? Now, most of you would have heard of, well, some of you would have heard of Azadin Mohammed. Now, Azadin Mohammed, in the elections that they had, I believe the elections were on September 1st in Guyana, and he emerged the leader of the opposition. However, since September 1st until now, he hasn't been sworn in, and apparently the swearing in date is on Monday. He was arrested today. Now, let's give you a little background on Azadin Mohammed. As I said, he was arrested today, days ahead of being sworn in as opposition leader. His arrest comes under a cloud of U.S. indictments and gold smuggling allegations. So the questions that we are asking, was this arrest lawful or politically timed? Did the ruling party decide he should not take his seat? Is the will of the people being overridden? Remember, he was voted in by the people as the leader of the opposition. Now, as I said earlier, Mr. Mohammed has been indicted by the U.S., right? The U.S. indictment says that he and his father conspired over years to smuggle gold, evade taxes, launder money, involving at least 10,000 kilograms of gold and US $50 million in lost royalties. Mohammed's party, We Invest in Nationhood, WIN, only formed in 2025, yet snatched 16 seats in the general election and became the second largest party. So even though he was indicted on all of those charges, the people of Guyana still voted for him as leader of the opposition. He's done a lot of charitable work there in Guyana, and the people seem to love him. We're going to see a little later in a video there. He was scheduled to be sworn in as leader of the opposition on Monday, the 3rd of November. So the arrest happened just days ahead of the swearing in. This timing raises red flags and demands the questions. Was the arrest a standard legal process or a political move to stop the will of the people from being enacted? The government denies wrongdoing. The Attorney General says the legal process is being followed, but many Guyanese are watching closely. So let's put this all in context. We know that Guyana is not just any small country. It's one of the world's fastest growing economies. And thanks to the major offshore oil finds that they've had. When you combine oil wealth with weak institutions, right, you get a potent mix. And really, that's Guyana. Weak institutions. Politics becomes about access to the pie, not just policy. Mohammed's rise from gold trader, donor to the ruling party, because the ruling party, a lot of people believe, it's been reported, Mohammed himself reports that he has given a lot of donations to that ruling party. He's now opposition contender. And so he's threatening the status quo. He's accused by the US of gold smuggling and tax evasion. He says he's being attacked because he dared to challenge the ruling party. Meanwhile, the ruling People's Progressive Party, which is the PPC, says process is being followed and no one is above the law. But the question is, if justice is used as a weapon, what good is it? In September 2025, in that election, the PPPC, they won 36 seats, and WIN won 16 seats. Okay, so the people are basically saying that there's some indication that they want some change, right? So when the opposition leader-elect was arrested days before taking his seat, many asked, is the government blocking the transfer of power? PPPC, are you blocking the transfer of power? These are the questions that the people in Guyana are asking, and the rest of us in the Caribbean should be asking that question as well. Vice President Bharat Jagdeo later declared that serving in Parliament will not provide immunity from U.S. extradition. So here are some questions. We have 4 questions for the government of Guyana that I believe the people of Guyana, they're asking. Was Mr. Mohammed served prior to the parliamentary process? Did the ruling party delay or influence the arrest timing? Did the ruling party delay or influence arrest timing? Are the U.S. indictments politically motivated, timed to coincide with his political appointment? If charges exist, why suspend the swearing-in rather than allow him to take office and defend from there? Because they have been suspending the swearing-in Guyana. Does the ruling party face internal pressure to maintain control of oil wealth and therefore see Mohammed as a threat? Folks, Guyana is a country on the cusp, rich in oil, bursting with potential. But tonight we see one man's arrest as more than just a headline. Lots of questions. It is a test of whether the people's will can be silenced by what's happening right now. And if it can in Guyana, what hope is there for the rest of the region? We have to stay vigilant. Guyana, we have to demand transparency, because democracy is not something you watch. It's something you live. And I thought it was important to take some time out of what we are discussing concerning Barbados to talk about some of these issues tonight. Let me just read a couple of your comments. Tanisha says, yes, I believe so. They delayed the swearing in and it's all political. They're nasty. The people were chanting, we want Mohammed. A big crowd were there after his release, hugging and kissing him. Lots of love for him. We have that on the screen. I'm gonna ask Dave to play it in a moment after reading some of your comments. Oh, I tell you, this is what a time to be living in the Caribbean. What a time. And we have to be praying for Guyana that we don't have civil unrest. We will have to be praying that we do not have civil unrest in Guyana. Let me tell you, because the people, they love this man. They love this man. And so I'm praying that the leaders will handle things well there in Guyana. So you got to pray for Tanzania. You got to pray for Trinidad. Oh my goodness. And we've got to pray for Guyana. Dave, you can go ahead, please, and play. And then we go right into Jamaica.
Everybody, one family, one family. They look at me. Can't do nothing. Come on. Don't frighten them. Vigayo. Don't frighten them. Vigayo. We got you. We got you. Hey, Chef.
Yeah, where you George? See, Carly boy, out there Monday.
No, hello. Hey, Monday, we coming out there Monday. Hey, Monday, we got you, someone.
Yes, Barbados, yes, region. This is what is happening, and this is why we have to pray. He's out on bail at this time, he and his father, and so we really need to be keeping our eyes on Guyana, because I believe if Monday comes and it's not sworn in, I don't know what's going to happen in that place in Guyana. I believe that the people, I believe that there's going to be some kind of riot, because he has done a lot of good for the people. The people naturally love him. Of course, that has nothing to do with, the allegations against him. But the point is that the people, this is who they voted for, and so that's what's happening. Somebody's right says, what happens when the government refuses to listen to the people? Will the people not have to intervene? And that's what we don't want to happen in Guyana, because Guyanese, oh boy, they're not easy. They're not easy. They're like my Jamaican brothers and sisters, and so we've got to pray for peace in Guyana, folks. But everybody would have now known about Melissa or seen the effects of Melissa on our YouTube, whether you watched it on some on internet, heard it on the news. Everybody knows about Melissa. Melissa, I'm told Melissa means messenger, right? And I want to share something with you tonight that I think is very, very, very important as it relates to Jamaica. Just lots of coincidences. Dave, we do have a video of this particular area in Jamaica, St. Elizabeth, Jamaica, in Black River. And there are two videos I want Dave to play. One is the first one, Dave. You can play of the Prime Minister. Play the one, Dave, of the Prime Minister. I hope I didn't confuse you, but I will show you which one I want played first. Of the Prime Minister giving the talk at Kentucky in Black River. Everybody follow this tonight, and you tell me if these are coincidences or what. Okay. So, well, what you could do, Dave, okay, just give me a second. Right, it's right here. It was sent at 6:31. I will just resend that to you guys. It's live TV. Just hang on. Please let me just resend this, folks, and we're going to play that. But because I think it's important for you to follow the story, right, from the start. So, Dave, I resent it to you right there. It says, "Don't sell your land." Yes. If we can get that. In the meantime, if you're from Jamaica, you're watching, please send this link to others in Jamaica. Yes, and I'm literally waiting. I would wait until that video comes up. And while you are sharing, you are liking. If you're watching from Jamaica, can you put that in the comment section, please? Are you watching from Jamaica? Okay, go right ahead, Dave. Thank you.
Minister Dr. Andrew Holness said, following advice from the Urban Development Corporation, UDC, the parish is the best option. Kelisha Williams has that story.
Prime Minister Dr. Andrew Holness used the opening of this KFC location in Black River, St. Elizabeth Saturday morning to announce what he has described as a big deal moment, not just for the parish, but for Jamaica.
But suffice to say that the area that we have been advised is the best area to do an entirely new city, and it is because all the requisite elements to create a new city exist here. And you don't want to create a city that replicates Montego Bay and replicates Kingston. You want to create something unique. And therefore, this parish, St. Elizabeth, would be where we would be looking to develop our.
Speaking at the opening of the new KFC location in Black River today, Prime Minister Dr. Andrew Holness said, following advice from the Urban Development Corporation, UDC, the parish is the best option. Kelisha Williams has that story.
Okay. Now, folks, very important, hold that in your head, right? Now, can I give you some dates? So that interview, or well, even it wasn't having an interview, that report was made in summer, July 2020, July this year. Okay, just a couple months ago. This is way before this hurricane. All right. So that's number one. So this was in July 2023. I'm going to say July 22, July this year. I'm sorry, 2025. Okay. He announced this new city. All right. In Black River, St. Elizabeth. Right. July 30th. Thank you, Dave. July 30th, 2025. Here it is again, because I want you to follow me. You know, when I do these kinds of things, and if you think I'm reading too much in this, put it in the comment section, folks. Look at it. It's right here. Write down the date for me. Yeah. Mr. Holness said that in July 30th, 2025, that they are going to set up a new city, a unique city. He said, use the word unique city in Black River. Now, Dave, show ground zero. So can anybody guess where ground zero is of Melissa in Jamaica? Can anybody guess where is ground zero? Play that, Dave. Thank you so much.
Black River on Jamaica's southwest coast. This was where Hurricane Melissa unleashed its worst. Everywhere, evidence of the destructive power of 185-mile-an-hour winds. And on its ruined streets, 3 days on from the storm, growing desperation. Aid, which has been arriving in the capital, hasn't yet found its way here.
He hasn't come. No minister, nobody hasn't reached there. No supplies, no helicopter help, nothing.
We are hungry here now. So what we can get until they assist us, we will take it.
Tracy Ann rode out the storm at home, trapped upstairs as the ground floor flooded. Now she's back to see what remains of her cafe and clothes shop on the seafront.
It was just shocking to see everything inside. It's washed to the road. It's the tables, the dining tables, the furniture. It's crazy.
The town's hospital had part of its roof peeled off by the storm. It is still just functioning, staff having done their best to keep their patients safe.
We had to carry them to the top floor, which essentially caved in, so we had to move them back to the ground floor. In the accident and the emergency area, it started flooding, so we had to be there pushing out the water.
No way forward? Just getting to the areas worst hit is an effort in itself. More than 100 roads blocked. Communications hit hard. The fear that the death toll will rise further as authorities reach more cut-off areas. In Santa Cruz, inland from Black River, Sonia is doing what little she can to recover her livelihood, drying out storm-damaged stock from her shop. But the roof is missing and she doesn't have the money to get it replaced.
I feel cast down, discouraged, like I would have just give it up. But I still doing what I can do. I don't know, I just trying. It's terrible, it's terrible. Everything gone.
People here are used to the ravages of hurricane season, but those hurricanes are now being fueled by a warming Caribbean Sea. As Jamaicans start to recover from the strongest storm in their country's history, the fear is they may not have to wait too long for one stronger still.
So, folks, I am asking just questions. I was scratching my head today. Rescue BIM. You said Rescue BIM says, "Oh my God, tell me that this is AI generated. The theory of conspiracies can't be true. The new city in just 15 minutes." July 30, 2025, the Prime Minister Andrew Holness announced that he's been advised that this is where they must have the new city. Don't forget that only a couple days ago, I don't think a full week, Jamaica rejected the digital ID. They rejected the digital ID as being unconstitutional. Don't forget that. Don't forget that. All right. This is Black River today. Devastated. It is ground zero. I am dumbfounded. So tonight we're going to dive deep into something that affects everyone in Jamaica, I believe, and every Caribbean person who cares about sovereignty, development, and justice. We talk often about development, about progress, smart cities, and we talk about Vision 2030 Jamaica. Now, Vision 2030 Jamaica is a plan to lift Jamaica up, transform the place to the future, link into global goals, and it's all good. But when you see a plan in place, a major storm devastates a parish that is about to be redeveloped, and you see major financial tools, insurance, catastrophe bonds, it's time to ask, who drafts the plan? Who profits? Who loses, Jamaica? We want to explore tonight this insurance policy that Jamaica took out. I'm saying these things and I can't believe what I'm saying. Because as soon as I mentioned insurance policy, you know what comes to mind, people, as you share up this live? A man and a woman married, live together, and there is a third party involved. The woman and the man decides they want to be with the third party, and they decide that they're going to take one of them, whoever want to get out the next, kill the next, that insurance policy. They take out the insurance policy, right? Kill the spouse, all right? And they get the money from the insurance policy and they bring in the lover. What are we looking at right here? What are we looking at here, Jamaica? I don't know, so I'm asking question. I see my good friend is on from Jamaica. Is this coincidence? You think this is coincidence? So we have the insurance policy, the new city plan in St. Elizabeth, Black River, the timing of the disaster. Then on top of that, Barbados and the rest of the Caribbean, there is the land title and development shifts. Okay? When there's a huge issue happening in St. Elizabeth about land titles, a big fraud. People are, it's like they're forcing people to get off of land and to sell land. Reminded me of Nevis. So let's get into it, right? In 2009, Jamaica launched Vision 2030. Right? And this is a bold roadmap to 2030. We've heard that 2030 so many times, coming from the UN Sustainable Goals, coming from World Economic Forum, everything is 2030. Jamaica is to be the place of choice to live, work, raise families, and to do business. It's fine. It's aligned with the United Nations 2030 Agenda for Sustainable Development. And that might, for some people, they might consider that a good global alignment. Among its 15 national outcomes is a technology-enabled society Jamaica is going for. That signals that the government wants digital infrastructure, connectivity, and smart systems. Remember, digital infrastructure, connectivity, and smart systems. So you see, smart city isn't just a buzzword. It brings sensors, it brings data collection, surveillance infrastructure, land rezoning, and new models of urban governance. And so we must ask, when a smart city is proposed in a vulnerable parish, right? When you are going to propose a smart city in a vulnerable parish, we're going to have to ask under what terms? Who controls the data? Who will control the land? Jamaicans know that there's been a lot of fraud going on in St. Elizabeth about the land. So tonight we're going to treat Vision 2030 not just as aspiration, but as strategy. We'll ask whether it built the future or built someone else's future at the cost of the people in Black River, St. Elizabeth, and St. Elizabeth on a whole, and the west of Jamaica on a whole. Now, on October 2025, moving up now, right? From the when they came up with the Vision 2030, right? Hurricane Melissa comes ashore in Jamaica. Follow me, right? Follow me, please. One of the hardest hit areas is St. Elizabeth Parish, specifically Black River. Homes destroyed, infrastructure gone, lives upended. In fact, in total, through the whole Jamaica, At the moment, I'm hearing that it's 19. If it's more, someone can put that in the comment section. Earlier in 2024, Jamaica issued a catastrophe bond, a parametric catastrophe bond via the World Bank and other partners, covering 4 hurricane seasons and up to 150 million if a storm met certain trigger conditions: wind speed, pressure, landfall, right? So these 3 things: wind speed, pressure, and landfall. So remember now, with this particular insurance, they're going to pay out if the predefined metrics are made. Okay, so if they meet the predefined metrics, then the money is paid out. If the conditions are met, the money flows. So that raises a question: did this storm trigger the bond? We know it did, because we're seeing it plastered in newspapers all around. I hear it on news in the US that Jamaica had this insurance, catastrophe insurance, and a bond, and you know, so the money, so the bond has been triggered because Tana coincidence. Another, I mean, just so many coincidences. This hurricane triggers this bond in all of the areas: wind speed, pressure, landfall path. Okay, these trigger conditions have been met, and so the insurance money is going to be paid out. And now St. Elizabeth is also the site of a newly announced smart city project. Timing matters, people. Because if a disaster-prone place is targeted for redevelopment and there's insurance financing involved, we must hold the process to public scrutiny. Those of you, you're not from Jamaica, you don't live in Jamaica, you might say it doesn't matter to you. But as we showed you with Nevis, what's happening over there in Nevis, something similar here in Jamaica, they just use it, doing it another way. When will it come to where you live? We're seeing the free zone areas in Barbados. When will it come to where you live? Now, let's talk a little bit about land titles and development. Another coincidence. Records show increased talk of adverse possession laws, land grab fears, and title fraud in Jamaica, particularly in St. Elizabeth, where the land is valuable, coastal, and no mark for redevelopment. Sounds familiar? So when you combine a storm that devastates that land, a redevelopment plan for that land, an insurance tool that pays based on disaster metrics, you have a triple stack of questions. Too many coincidences. Who controls the land now? Did the redevelopment plan start before or after the storm? We know it started before the storm because we just showed you facts. We're not making it up. It's not AI. Where the Prime Minister of Jamaica announced Black River, it's where they're going to have this new city. July, so you have August, September, October. 3 months later, it is ground zero for Melissa, Category 5 hurricane. That is an unusual hurricane. unusual. The second strongest and most destructive in the history of the world at the moment. Wow. Are local residents going to be consulted or displaced? Well, they're already displaced. Is this new city designed for the Jamaican people or for investors or global tech firms? You see, don't forget small cities. We've done this on the show many times, often come with surveillance, data control, privatization of infrastructure. Don't forget, we've been talking about that. Surveillance, data control, privatization of infrastructure. So I believe that the people in Jamaica need to ask for the full text of this bond, this insurance bond. What are the trigger conditions? And let the people see the full document. Jamaicans ask for it. See, look at the beneficiary account. The allocation, how is it allocated? Will government deal with relief first or capital project first? See there? Relief first or capital project first? Look at the land registry files in St. Elizabeth. Title transfers between January 2024 till now. Remember Nevis? They caught it almost too late. Who is now buying up the land in St. Elizabeth, in Black River? So let me say this, Jamaicans and Caribbean people, if we are to trust that St. Elizabeth, Black River, Westmoreland, Jamaica's destruction was simply by a storm, while a city plan and insurance finance swirl around it, then you must ask, at least ask, who is going to benefit? Vision 2030, is it the vision for the people of Jamaica? Is it your vision or somebody else's plan for you? So I am just asking a lot of questions tonight. Folks, anybody out there think these are just, just coincidences? Anybody? No, nothing to see here. Let me read some of your comment. Hurricane said it's a designer hurricane to specification. Oh my goodness. Somebody say you can't be that lucky. Elaine, is it 24 deaths? When I checked today, it was 24. Hurricane says in large or urban areas, when the developers want to develop the old inner city, for example, the area mysteriously burns, correct? Or the residents are run out by whatever means necessary. We know that because we would have seen the old hospital burned down 3 times here in Barbados, right? Oh my goodness. It just looks suspicious. Jamaicans, I'm asking you to look into this, please. Somebody says what happened in Barbados in the 70s and 80s, they burned down the city. I don't really know a lot about that. Peter Hill says, you believe man can control a hurricane? Well, then you can believe anything. Well, it is easier to fool a man than convince him otherwise. Well, you know, Peter doesn't believe that the hurricane can be controlled. Yes, something similar transpired in Hawaii. And I'm going to bring that. I know a lot of you're not too much into this type of thing, but this is a time for us to look at these kinds of things. Somebody says, rescue means a legitimate question mark, says, in the face of disaster, everything just seemed to work in the elitist favor. And it's just, wow, a whole house washed away. Elaine, are you in Jamaica? So Elaine is saying that the numbers are more. Awaken said the Caribbean has allowed itself to be taken captive. And I'm saying to Jamaicans, can you look further into this thing, please? Ask Andrew Holness. When you made the announcement in Black River in July 2025, did you, you know, why did you choose? You said you were told by whom to choose Black River, and how the hurricane could know to hit Black River the hardest. Something don't sound right. Build back better, yes. I remember that, Pedro. Pedro, you're right. My goodness. Elaine is in Jamaica. Elaine, do you hear anybody talking about what I'm speaking about right now in Jamaica, Elaine? Have you heard anybody making asking these questions on the ground there in Jamaica? I was talking to my Jamaican friend here, and she was sending me some things, and we were talking today, and I didn't even know what I'm like, what am I looking at here? Yes, they wait until the election was over. Okay, Elaine is saying that people are saying what I'm saying. Elaine, let me give you my number. I'm going to put the number on the screen, and I would love for you to, if you can call into the show, would be great. Because I'm really curious about this, because I cannot, if this is not coincidence, folks, I can't even, I don't even know what to think of our leaders. This has to be coincidence. I want to believe it's coincidence. Wow. But I mean, we just did a show on, was it Wednesday night? We did a show where we talked about how, I'm mixing up the shows, but we did a show talking about the weaponization of weather. And we're not speculating. There are actual cases, historic cases. We talk about Popeye that was done in Vietnam, right? Early 70s. So it's not, you know, we know that the weather can be weaponized. It's whether they can actually, really manipulate a hurricane. We don't know whether that, because nobody has seen that happen before. But just the movement of this hurricane and just the characteristics of this hurricane, a lot of it is a bit unusual. And they're saying it is due to the change in the environment, the warm water, and all of these things. Scientifically, they're explaining it. So we need to say that. But to us lay people, it does not feel and sound right. So that was one thing. And then for it to be so targeted, Jamaica is so huge. 13 parishes, lots of towns, but you go, they go and they sit on Black River, destroy Black River, where the Prime Minister said he was advised to set up the new city. Well, somebody said Mr. Murray says he doesn't believe in coincidences. I don't know. I want to hear more about this. Somebody says they believe it's UN generated. Barbados, yes, we've been talking about smart cities in Barbados. They've had town hall meetings have been held in Barbados about smart cities. Facts. I have the documents that were given out at the town hall meetings. I have them. We did a presentation on the show and we showed you the documents. Yes, there were. Sonny did it. Sonny did that presentation in a lot of white communities in St. James and so on. They had these town hall meetings and a few people turned up, 3 or 4 people sometimes turned up. Weather manipulation. Yeah. Folks, we've got to, this is this one is mind-blowing. It is. I don't understand it. I can't. Somebody needs to explain something to the Jamaican people. Yes? I want to read some more of your comments. Enough talk on the redevelopment of Bridgetown. Anybody, if you want to call in on this, if you're from Jamaica and you want to give us a call on this topic here tonight, feel free to do that. All right, feel free to give us a call. Yeah, you're right. I didn't think this would start in my lifetime. You're right. Yeah. What is this one, Dave, that you have here? Smart cities, is it a pipe dream for Jamaica? What is the date on this article? Folks, we need to interest ourselves in these things because this is what's coming to a country near you, to a city near you. Okay? This is what they're planning by 2030. Okay? I'm trying to find the date on this article. Yeah. That's what Mia Motley is pushing. Correct. Ramim, come to the front of the class. Ramim. Is this the same Ramim I know? Because they have that number at the end. I don't know. Ramim, can you call me, please? This administration, yes, they campaign on making Bridgetown a smart city. This is what we don't understand, you know, because sometimes when we do these kind of shows, it's about another country and we lock out, you know, we close down our minds because it's happening in Jamaica. Did you see, you remember I showed you all the, I showed you the fire trucks that they were kept driving them on Swan Street and talking about all of a sudden they're doing emergency. They're doing, fire drill. Shortly after, a fire broke out in a store right there on Swan Street because it's my belief, and it's my opinion, my belief. I don't have any facts for this. But my belief that they plan to remove the people there from Swan Street because they want that area. They're building a smart city in Bridgetown. You know, Folks, I tell you, Caribbean, I can't believe we're at this point. Honestly, we have a caller on the line.
Hi. Good night.
Good night, caller. Good night, caller. Let me just make some adjustments here to make sure that we want to be able to hear you, really, really loudly. Let's see if we can hear you. Go ahead, caller. Welcome to the Marcia Week Show.
Hi, good night. Good night.
Yes,
Thanks
sir.
for having me.
Yes, go right ahead. Yeah, we can hear you loud and clear.
You know, I heard talks about stuff you're talking about pertaining to the hurricane in Jamaica, and I've heard you and other people postulating that the hurricane might have been something man-made, and I would say it is man-made to a sense, but not in the way that you would think. You understand? You understand what I'm saying?
No, I don't. Go ahead.
Well, the thing is, right, for past couple or so decades, humans have been utilizing carbon. Humans have been utilizing fossil fuels, and these fossil fuels have been heating up the atmosphere. You understand? And in turn, it is creating what would be known as climate change and global warming. So these global warming, this climate change and global warming would create the effect that of what you're seeing now in Jamaica, unpredictable weather patterns, and increase in the intensity of hurricanes.
Yes.
And the weather. So it is not any conspiracy or pseudoscience thing where we could make a hurricane, because we are gods. We aren't to the level where we could say we want to produce a hurricane of that caliber. But over the past couple of years, humans have been geoengineering the earth by injecting carbon dioxide into the atmosphere, causing global warming and causing climate change. What are your thoughts on this?
Yeah, no, it's something that I've read on. I had a discussion with even my son about it yesterday. I'm very aware of that. What I'm also aware of is that the weather can be manipulated. And as you heard me say, I don't know if it can be at the level of a hurricane, because the weather, sir, has been used as a weapon in war several times before.
In war? In which war?
In which war? The war in Vietnam. Popeye. Have you heard about Popeye?
I'm not entirely sure about that.
No, but that's a fact. It's nothing to be entirely sure about. It is a fact, sir. It is a fact that they did that, where they extended a whole season with more rain so that the U.S. would have had an advantage in that war. Those things are facts.
Well, I can't say. Me personally, I'm a scientific individual. You understand?
Yes, and I understand the science, and so I'm saying, if you're a scientific person, then I think you would want some facts as well, and the facts are that it's a fact, and what you can do is to look it up, and then you and I can have a conversation about it. But it is a fact, sir, that in the late 60s and 70s, that is what was done to the point where what the UN did, they created a policy, right, against it, and they basically condemned it. Okay, but it has happened. It has happened, and it's and so what I did with the show is that I'm asking, in that particular show, I asked questions, because if it could have been done, if the weather could have been weaponized, sir, at that time, what would stop the weather from not being weaponized now? I can't say for sure that the hurricane was used or not used, or if it was you know what I mean, if man did anything to it. I don't know. I don't know. You might be right. But I'm just saying to you, I'm asking legitimate question based on the Popeye strategy that was used in the late 60s, sir.
It is good that we remain rational in the midst of all this.
Correct. Yes, you're right. We need to be rational.
And not do any whistleblowing or any spreading of misinformation.
I'm not spreading misinformation. No, tell me any misinformation you heard me spread on the show.
No, I'm just saying, you know.
No, you're saying it, but I want you to tell me. I just gave you facts that you're not aware of. You're not aware of it. I just gave you facts, sir, and so I'm asking you because you can't say that it didn't happen because it happened, sir. So, and I'm only asking questions because it happened in that case. I told you started by telling me about global warming. I told you that I've read about it. I had a discussion with my son up to yesterday. And so I'm saying that while I hear what you're saying, what I'm saying to you is this, that because it had happened before, I am asking questions about this. So I'm not spreading any conspiracy, I don't know the term you're using. I'm asking questions because it happened before.
Okay then. Well, it was nice talking to you. You know. Hope to talk to you more on this topic.
Yes, I hope so, and I would love for you to research, and then let's have a conversation.
Okay. Yes.
Okay. Yeah. Thank you. Make sure. Give me a call. Okay.
Yeah.
Yes. Thank you. Yeah.
All right.
Hello, good night.
Hello, good night, Marcia.
Yes, good night, sir.
This topic you're talking about weather manipulation, where they play with the weather. I actually could agree with you, but at the end of the day, we are not used to this type of science in the Caribbean or even discussing it. So yes, there was the Vietnam War where they actually want to slow down your vehicles from moving too fast by, it is purple rain, but you said you call it a different name. And they would make the rain fall so the mud could be very slippy, the trucks would move very slow and stuff. I think I saw that on the documentary a while ago. Can you hear me say that?
Yes, I'm listening to you.
Right. And then I think a year and a half, there was something happening. I don't know if Hawaii is the right place.
Yes.
Where that there was something have a fire, and none of the buildings of this plane blew. There wasn't damage, and people are still looking into that and want to know how that phenomenon happened. Very freaky one.
Yes.
But there's a machine in Switzerland. I think it named CERN. I think someone in the program will probably hear that name and correct it for me. And that was a machine that was designed to crash atoms together to find out how the gas be. But it's more than just crashing atoms together. So this type of science that they're doing, they're not sharing with the people in the Caribbean. So they're ahead of us. And we have all reasons to believe that the weather can be manipulated because this technology out there that is phenomenal and is doing lots of different stuff. But one of the things I want to share with you is every year we have the hurricane season. I don't know why it is that the rest of the world already prepared for basic things. They're not prepared for everything. Why is the Caribbean not building these hurricane shelters to a high standard, even for the ill and the handicapped? And for those, they know the procedure every year. The money is spending in places where it doesn't benefit the majority of the average person. It's mostly designing for hotels, infrastructure, smart cities that you're talking about. But when the hurricane season comes, the government's hustling, trying to assist people. And it's more than that. You don't plan after hurricane come, you plan before the hurricane. It's just that you guys' program talks about food security. These leaders in the Caribbean sound like they're doing something, but they're doing nothing.
Yes.
And you go to Europe streets are clean. Everything is nice, but when they want to fight the war, they want to do something bad, they go to the countries that's fighting to survive, to destroy or to do what they feel that is right for us, still asking us what's right for us. You know, so we need some leaders in the Caribbean. But I'm sorry that I can put a stronger output about this technology and the weather stuff. But we must start considering if these things, we need to find out more about this weather pattern and all that, because you're hearing too much conversation about this. But thank you for listening to me. I will give somebody else a chance.
Yes, thank you, sir. Thanks for calling. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. God bless.
Right.
You know, folks, it's nothing is wrong in asking questions, and why I decided to ask this question concerning Operation. I talked about Operation Popeye. Tonight, I wasn't really talking about the weaponizing of the weather per se. I was talking about the coincidences in terms of Black River, St. Elizabeth, and the fact that that's where we had and you, I mean, if anybody listened to me, you would have heard me say I'm asking questions because of the coincidences. Okay, that's all. I started off in the middle of it and I kept saying that. All right, but because we love to label people conspiracy theorists, even if they're asking questions, we're not hearing what it is that I'm saying. Even the show I did the other day, I started off by saying, if they did it with that Popeye weather manipulation, if it happened then, could it happen now? And I always say when I'm speaking, I'm not a scientist. Yes, but I'm asking the questions. That's what I have to do. So that 10 years down the line, it is not something that we never thought about. And oops, it happened. A lot of things that happened during the COVID, the whole COVID crisis that we had. Everybody was a conspiracy theorist until majority of what was said as conspiracy theory came out to be truth. Nothing is wrong with asking questions. Nothing is wrong with having dialogue. My son is a scientist into science, and we had it out yesterday. And I said to him, I understand everything you're saying, but I want to ask some questions because we never thought. I was shocked when I met upon this Popeye thing yesterday, a couple of days ago. Didn't know it could happen. Right? Okay, so I'm sure. Okay, all right. Okay, somebody here, Rescue Beam, knows about it. Yeah. Yeah. All right. Let's welcome Mr. Bob into all of this conspiracy theory that they're calling me a conspiracy theorist. No, the caller didn't call me that. I'm stretching it, caller, but feel free to give me a call and let's have a conversation. But we're going to change the conversation. I know Mr. Bob wants to jump in on this when he comes in. Good night, Mr. Bob.
Good night. I was following with much interest, and you in the absence of understanding what is happening around us, and when governments are being as shady as they are internationally, we see their plans and projections for a particular time. We see plans being outlined a couple of years ago for certain parts of the world, and the easiest thing to build something is to either burn it down or completely have it destroyed, so that when you rebuild, you're not rebuilding those houses or other infrastructures that were there in this first place. You have no free reign to develop under the guise of developing what you want, your plans. And sometimes when certain things look fishy, we have a right to ask questions as human beings. That's how we are. That's how we learn. And if you don't ask questions, if you don't query things that are before us, then we are people most ignorant. So we have a right to ask questions. And when you ask questions and certain probing questions to those persons who are in leadership positions, they try to spin the narrative that we are being conspiracists because they don't want their business or what they're involved in being questioned by the locals. That is all it is.
Yeah. And if you remember some of the things that we were taught that, it's just science and we are to just accept it as science. I mean, look at something like evolution. Right? I know we don't have to go into deep because I know that will take us a whole night. But what I'm saying is that a lot of people were questioning evolution. And I know hearing my children who did science are now saying, but mom, that's something now people are really looking at it and saying, no, there has to be design. So this the people who are talking about design, saying there's some unseen hand doing some kind of design here.
Right.
Before that was so far-fetched and stupid.
Yes.
And now scientists are welcoming that kind of discussion. And so, I think that we, as you said, we continue to ask questions. If it was done before, I do understand about global warming. I do understand about climate change. I've read on that, etc. And I presented that when I was doing my presentation on Wednesday. However, the fact that the weather was used as a weapon before, one has to ask the question, can it be used again?
Yes.
That's all.
Or is it being used in other circumstances? Where you hear of cloud seeding and being able to produce rain in places that were drought, desert areas, what type of science have these people with loads of money with nothing to do with it other than to try to manipulate? There was a time when persons would not believe that we could go to the moon. They landed there. All right. So that is things that if your mind can conceive it, and we don't use how much of our brain do we use? Very small amount.
Yes, I think is it 10%? Is that
something so? So I'm saying that that these things, once you're seeing them happening, we know that they're experimenting with different strains of diseases that will lead to further pandemic if they get, and then sometimes they get out of control.
If somebody would have told us that we would have gone through COVID,
in our lifetime, I cannot believe that, and nobody was tried for crimes against humanity. But the persons who spoke out about it are conspiracy theorists. But the real conspirators made billions of dollars.
Exactly. And we're everything that was being said not everything. We can't say everything. Some of this stuff was just out there. But there's some of it that is actually, they now are saying that it is fact. So we don't, but we can move on from that.
Of course. There's things that we keep in the back of our minds so that we're not totally surprised when they do occur.
We keep them in the back of our minds. Yeah. Okay, we have one call, and I'll take the call. And we're going to move on, and then we open back the line.
Hello.
Yes, good night. Welcome to the Marcia Week Show.
Good night, Miss Marcia Week. How are you?
I am doing great. And you?
I'm doing great too. And you have a great show.
Yes, thank you, sir.
Mr. Bill Gates is on TV now saying that climate change is not a horse no more. So we got to check what is really going on now. The theory flip-flop about the vaccines is now flip-flopping about climate change. So I'm asking our government to take the environment tax off the gas and start me from paying that environment tax out of our wages, and let me get on with our life. They've been doing too much wickedness for too long. Time for change everything now, man.
Yes.
Thank you, Miss Marcia Weeks.
Yes, God bless you.
Not God. Jah is great. Not God. God, another horse that they give you false. No, another false that they give us again.
Okay, well, whatever you call him, God, Jah, May God bless you. May God bless you. Whatever. Whatever, sir.
We're not dealing with the word that the white man gave us. He gave
You
us
know, the English language came from the white man, though. But we don't want to get into all of that. Whatever you call him, sir.
The word is back and enough these things that things that they tell us is bare lies. We're not taking it no more.
Yeah.
Mom, the native people on this earth, the first people on this earth, praise Mother Nature.
All right.
And the white man come and tell you about the God in the skies.
All right, no problem.
We don't want to this word.
No, because you know we try not to get into religion because you have different people who believe more than what you believe. We believe different. Okay.
Yes, it's not flip flopping. The same thing to the vaccine. Flip flopping.
Point taken. I take that point. I take that point. Thank you so much for calling. We appreciate your call. Thank you. Okay. Mr. Bob, the phone hot tonight.
Yes. And it's good to encourage our audience, instead of sitting back and listening, to make the contribution. They make the contribution by typing in the chat.
Yes.
Some are brave enough to call.
Yes.
and to share with us their own thoughts. And our people have a lot in their minds that they want to speak about. And this show gives them the opportunity to say it. Why not?
Yes, most definitely. Well, we want to bring things home. I wanted to do it earlier, but let's bring things home to Barbados. I think that where people are more comfortable with that, and so we want to talk about this central bank, this report by the governor, right? And Anthony Wood. He gave a response to it, and we're going to walk through that response today, right? Tonight. Now, I don't have any who has seen the central bank report. Anybody? We want to talk about that section about unemployment. Okay. Sorry, I'm reading a message coming in here from Miss McLean. Pardon me, guys. Pardon me. And okay, so we can discuss that when you come on the show, Miss McLean, because we moved on. All right, but questions are asked are there for us to ask, okay? But we will ask them, okay? Now, many of you have heard that the unemployment rate has dropped to a record low of 6.1% at the end of June. That's what was in the report. And economist Anthony Wood, he warns that the governor's selective use of labor market data leaves big gaps. All right. And he talks about some critical blind spots. And Mr. Bob and I, we're going to go through those 5 critical blind spots tonight in our labor market and break down what they really mean for us and what our leaders are not telling us. This is what Dr. Kevin Greenidge is saying, that we are at a 6.1% unemployment rate. Okay. So first, what does unemployment mean in Barbados? And we probably should let the people in the chat, let everybody get involved. What does unemployment mean to us in Barbados? What is that? What is unemployment? Mm-hmm. Because sometimes we read these things, you hear about these things, but what is it really? Anybody? Somebody said they don't ever believe what the governor says publicly. There are lots of people who believe that.
Yeah, you go ahead. You finish what you're saying.
No, I'm finished. I'm finished.
Oh, because when we speak about the unemployment situation and we look at what Mr. Anthony Wood is saying, a renowned economist, we have to juxtapose what he is saying next to what Mr. Abed was saying about what he is witnessing in terms of. So we have to look at, because if there is real, if the employment figures, if people are employed at a certain level, then they must be able to afford basic needs, sending their children to school, coping with the cost of living. So when you ask the question, what is really employment or unemployment, then we have to look and see this of what is currently happening in Barbados. Are our people fully employed, underemployed? That is what we have to look at tonight, so that the layman person, when given the facts, the presentation from the central bank governor, they are able to look at their individual lives and look around and see what is happening that they can see and decide whether those figures are correct or not.
Yeah, and you're correct. And let me just see if anybody else has anything to add. Yeah. Yeah, we are actually going through Anthony Woods. He's an economist. I'm not an economist, and Mr. Bob, we're not economists, and everybody knows that.
Yes, we just want to get the facts. Yes.
Yeah, we are using
it.
Yeah, we're using the information, and Mr. Wood has given me permission to do that. So you don't need to remind us that we're not economists. We already know that.
Yes.
You know that, and we know that. Okay? You don't need to tell us we're not. All right? So we are discussing what Mr. Wood, an economist, is actually saying. All right? And we're going to go through his document very, very in a detailed manner. Kevin Greenidge, Adrian Hines is saying, was given that job to do exactly what he's doing, which is to project macroeconomic statistics as the reality on the ground when it is not. And that is what Mr. Bob is saying, that we are not experiencing what Mr. Greenidge is actually saying. Is actually saying. Yeah. Right. Okay, good. So let's go through what Mr. Wood is saying, for those of you who might not have seen it, because somebody is saying that they understand what Mr. Wood is saying. That's all right. So that's good for you, right? If you understand what Mr. Wood is saying. All right. So unemployment. What are we talking about? So the governor probably reports 6.1%, unemployment rate, but that figure only counts people who are unemployed, as Mr. Bob was saying, who have actively looked for a job within the last 3 months, right?
Yes.
So that figure includes them. But what about the people who could work but choose not to look? You have those. For whatever reason, right? They may feel that the job that is available.
Yes, because if they spend so much money on qualification, why should I subject myself to doing those type of jobs? And they're more or less home waiting until the right job comes along. But then there's the other group who is saying, let me go here and work until I get the job that suits my qualification. Is that in the minority or in the majority? That's the question that has to be answered. Are those persons who are what we call voluntary idle captured in the data? That is not the question that he's asking.
And that's a good question, because a lot of times when we hear unemployment rate, this is why I think that we need to break down what Mr. Wood is saying, so that the average Barbadian can understand what Mr. Wood is saying. right? And you know, those are voluntarily idle. Are they included in that 6.1% number? So the 6.1 figure paints only part of the picture. It says nothing about how many Barbadians want to work but aren't looking. Right? How many Barbadians want work but aren't looking?
But are these figures only include Barbadians, or does these figures include the increase in foreign labor that we are seeing? Is it only Barbadians, or are these employment figures including the foreign labor that we are seeing as people working?
There you go. And you mentioned about underemployment. Okay, so you have the underemployment and issue, right?
Yes.
Just because someone has a job doesn't mean they're employed well.
Because they may be only working week on or week off, or 3 days a week. That is underemployment.
I mean, it's like many university graduates complain, I studied hard, as you were saying earlier, but I'm stuck doing low skill work that doesn't match their training, right? The governor credits construction, talks about construction, tourism, and service for creating jobs. But what about quality?
Yes, because we noticed that there's a building boom along the coast for hotels. Are university graduates going to be employed in areas of management, or are we going to be subjecting them to the jobs like restaurant workers? That is nothing wrong with that, but as long as you study and particular, do you go into management areas, or are those positions now only belong to those persons who they bring from outside? Because we have seen a lot of ads in the paper, we have not found anybody suitable for this position, and they bring them in. So we have to wonder what this government is doing and what they're saying to our university graduates. Not only not providing the environment where they can work according to their qualifications, but you're also saying to them, if you don't find it here, go somewhere else. Why should that be the first option? And then we complain about brain drain.
Yeah, correct. You know, if you imagine if you're trained as an engineer then, right? But you're doing retail. And you have a lot of university graduates like that, you know.
Yes.
But they're considered as employed.
Yeah.
But those people are underemployed. We're not utilizing them they're trained. So you're trained as an engineer, but you're doing retail, or you're a teacher, but you're working part-time in hospitality.
Yeah.
Right? Do you count that as employed? You see? So when we hear of low unemployment, we ask how many graduates are doing jobs they didn't train for. How much of our labor force is employed but not thriving, because those are hidden pains, as they would say, right?
Yes.
You see, we need data. We need data on how many workers are part-time but want full-time. And that is one of the things that's happening all over Barbados right now. A lot of part-time work.
Because you're on contract work as well. And contract work is underemployment, because a fully employed person can take that knowledge, that information of fully employment, and take it to the banks or the lending agencies and get loans. A contract worker is finding difficulty in doing that. That is underemployment. And if the government is giving school meals workers, the ancillary staff in schools, teachers are still part-time, after 5 or 6 years, they're not appointed to the service. That's underemployment. Because you're signing, instead of having, like the previous administration would have given the school year, but now you're having persons coming into the school system, even working, not coming in, but are being given contracts every term for 3 months or 4 months, which of the term is up. So that is not fully employment. You should not be counting them, and you should be dealing with full employment and not underemployment.
Exactly. And this is why we're doing this tonight, because some people, trust me, when election time comes about, they are going to bandy this figure. That's why they're putting this thing out now, you know, because they are going to talk about this record low unemployment rate. But you know, if you don't understand it, and it's not done where the layman can understand it, you know, then people are going to think that this government is doing so great.
Yes, and I see Adrian making a good point, asking the question if the term labor force participation rate was mentioned.
Correct. Yeah, and that's it. That was the third thing, Adrian, that Mr. Anthony Wood, you know, he spoke about, right? The labor force participation and the gender divide, right? So what the labor force participation rate, that's a percentage of eligible people who are working or actively looking,
right?
Right? According to recent analysis, this rate in Barbados is below 70%. Many eligible people sit out for many reasons, for schooling, discouragement,
right,
or you know, they're taking care of, you know, the elderly caring responsibility, right? Also disaggregated by gender. Women typically participate at a lower rate than men.
Agree. Yeah.
Meaning, if unemployment is low for those looking, many women never enter the labor force or may drop out early. So we're looking at the labor force participation and the gender divide. The governor's statement on 6.1% didn't highlight these gender splits. That simplifies the story. And there's a reason that the story is being simplified, because the election is coming.
Yes.
You see?
Nice sounding figures, and the lie of success must be carried. Remember, their slogan has to be carried. What we have to do as an electorate is to listen carefully, because they will come and they go. I made a comment that now they're lying with charts. They come and put up bar graphs and charts, and you get carried away with the presentation, but not the substance and the underlying truth that is they're hiding from you. So as the electorate, we have to be mindful and not be carried away. Look, ask pertinent questions. If it doesn't feel right, if you're not seeing it as an everyday person or feeling it, like they're saying to us that everything is so well, but when you go to the supermarket, that's not the case.
Correct. You know, and this is why we must demand full breakdown: male versus female labor force participation, age groups, immigration effect, as you were speaking of, Mr. Bob, right? Because as pleased as we may be with the 6.1%, we might be leaving large groups out of the picture. That's what Mr. Anthony Wood is saying. And as I keep saying, you know, Mr. Bob, we want to make this a point of discussion and breaking it down on the show, so that the average Barbadian understands when they begin to they're gonna put this up.
Like the statistics.
Yeah, the statistics, they're gonna put it up. And so we need to be able to understand what is happening. Well, I see. Go ahead.
Why would they give us in that breakdown the actual unemployment figures of our youth, school leavers, university graduates? Why wouldn't they give us that as a separate breakdown, so that we can say to those persons know that they're talking about moving the retirement age? What are you saying to the young people? Let us see in Barbados how many of our youth are actually unemployed. Tell us that figure. We have not gotten that.
That's it. I mean, we're going to touch on that, but let me bring in Apostle Scanterbury. You know, he's normally here with us on a Friday night. Good night, Apostle Scanterbury. How are you doing?
Good night to you, ma'am. Good night to you. It's great to be here. Mr. Bob, how are you doing tonight, sir?
Yes, yes. Are we hearing each other?
Yeah, can you hear me clearly?
Yes,
We're hearing you clearly. We're hearing you clearly. Well, we are here, and I know you're getting a jump into this. We're looking at Mr. Anthony Wood's response to the governor of the central bank. You know, as he's speaking about this record low unemployment rate, which we know that they're going to use that, you know, as a part of the ingredient in this Kool-Aid that they're going to give Barbadians to drink of how successful labor has been. You know, what's this in labor? What is it when labor what? What is
when
it?
When labor leaves.
When labor leads, how we Bajans succeed. So this is part of the narrative. When labor lead, how we Bajans succeed. Record low unemployment rate. But what they haven't told us, he's not talking about the youth, the youth unemployment rate.
Yeah, well, you know, you're right about that. When it depends on, you know, how you word it, because it is true when labor leads, the people succeed. So
you mean fruit seeds, mango seeds?
Exactly, because
Ackee seeds.
You know, so they are correct, you know. But I looked over that information, and again, you know, what came to mind is I remember years ago, I was talking to a friend of mine who was very close to a minister of tourism under the said Barbados Labour Party, and he called me because he was so upset with a particular meeting that they had in regards to the tourism numbers, and he told me, listen, in the meeting, this gentleman pulled a figure, and he turned to him and asked him where he got that figure from. He said, I just pulled it out the sky, and that's what we're going to use. So, you know, when I read this, and I think they had inflated the arrival rate, you know, to about 2 million that year. And he said we were so far from that 2 million mark. You know, it wasn't crazy. But when I read this, I recognized that this was, again, a political stunt. Right off the heels of the BLP's convention, you know, and it's always this playing to the crowd to make it look like things are good. Remember, we just had that minister that said, you know, we're constantly being told that things are going well in Barbados, but we know that things aren't well. And this is another political stunt to, you know, kind of hype up the Barbados Labour Party. But when you do the groundwork and you drive around Barbados, you drive through the communities in Barbados, you see that wide cross-section of young men that are on the block. You can't come with those type of numbers to make it look like employment is on some type of level. We know that employment in Barbados on many levels is very, very high.
Yes.
Okay. Including the individuals who are leaving both secondary and tertiary level institutions who cannot find gainful employment. And then we have the guys on the block themselves. And then we have those individuals who've left secondary school, who did not leave school with any great measure of certification, that are struggling right now to find some level of employment. So I don't think that the central bank governor has done his homework. I don't think there's been enough census being taken to determine the level of unemployment in Barbados. I think this is just a number that was pulled that looked significant enough, but still effective enough to show that there's some type of improvement in the area. But I don't agree with those numbers, because what we are seeing in Barbados and the fact that right now we have this open border where so many people are coming in, you can that can never be an accurate assessment of what unemployment in Barbados is like at this moment. So again, Barbadians must not be led astray, and they must not be fooled by these individuals that are number selective in favor of the Barbados Labour Party to make it look like we have, you know, some measure of balance. We don't have that measure of balance in the island right now.
Agree. And another figure, and another, and another time we want to look at this. The Agricultural Ministry keeps putting out some figures as it relates to food production. But if there is a significant increase in food production, would we not see the results in the falling prices of vegetables, etc.?
Right.
So they are playing around with numbers to mistake us on suspecting public, and we have to put this, what Kevin the Grenade, the central bank governor, said, up against the fact that we're not even so sure how many people, we're not sure, we're just as unsure of what he is saying as we're unsure of how many people can vote.
Okay.
Because we're not sure of the numbers. Good.
Yeah, and that's what you see. Anthony Wood, who is a seasoned economist, he is basically asking both the minister and the central bank to publish the youth unemployment rate. Then we want to know the number of school leavers who are working in jobs unrelated to their training. Right? How many youth are idle and are not looking at all? Because if the young people are lost, then we all lose. They are the future, right? So when we're talking about this unemployment rate, we need to understand, we need to know what is it for young people. And I believe that the last time that I checked, that was close to about 23 going 25%, which is very, very high. You see? So I think that they are deliberately leaving that percentage out of the discussion.
Right. Well, I can tell you, if I would add this in from looking at what I have seen, I know that the Barbados Labour Party, they are aware of the fact that employers in Barbados are very selective right now because Barbados has gone very high in rapidly. Okay. And I know that the state of the gang culture as well as the drug usage among our young people has played a significant role in the hiring of our young men and women. Okay. I know that for a fact. And this is one of the areas that this current administration has not paid attention to, because between 2019 to 2025, unemployment among our young people has grown exponentially. And they know that. They know that in terms of what is happening here in Barbados right now with the, they brag that we have 6 major hotels that are being built, but that suggests only a certain type of job offer. If you do not have certification, and if you do not have some level of experience, and they're not going to employ you if you're going to come to an interview, your fingers are black, your lips are black, you're obviously a heavy drug user, and people see that there's some level of culture regarding either drugs or gangs or any of that nature. So you force employers now to be very selective when it comes to our young people. And this is like, over the last 5 or so years where the culture increased itself and there was nothing done to really stop it. So again, and I know this for a fact, I'll say it here on the show. You also have to look at the state of the amount of young men that are coming out of secondary schools without certification. Many of them that are being expelled from school. And let me go back to the recent arrests where there were 3 young men around the ages of 16 that had no fixed place of abode. Okay, so that means at some point in time, 3 years prior to that, they would have been in the school system. So evidently something was going on within that 3-year period of time that their parents would have probably put them out of the home because of their involvement in, you know, a gang or involved in drugs and the changes in their behavior. So there are many parameters that have affected the increase in the unemployment rate, which this administration is not willing to address. And they have not addressed many things here in the island. From the state of sickness, there are many people in Barbados, and I don't mean elderly people, I mean young people who have suffered adverse side effects from taking the vaccine, who can't work. I know that for a fact. And these are individuals at, you know, what we would call workable age, you know, in their prime. But they're being seriously affected after taking the vaccine. And this government has not addressed any of those, you know, socioeconomic or health elements here in the island. They're just going along trying to make everybody believe that everything is good, and everything isn't good. So there are several areas that I know for sure that the central bank governor, they did not pay attention to. This is just one of those situations where, oh yeah, we're good at what we do. You know, we work with numbers, we like numbers, and the numbers always add up. So, you know, we pick one that sits well in between bad and good, and we push it off as good. And this is exactly what is happening with this comment coming from the central bank governor.
Yeah. And, you know, the other area that that Mr. Wood addresses in his response is the displacement and foreign labor, right?
Yes.
He's talking about the impact, and Mr. Bob started to discuss that a little earlier. All right. So he's talking about the impact of foreign labor and the displacement of Barbadian workers.
Yes. Well, there's a video that was circulated with a gentleman who was showing a housing project from the NHC in St. George, where he mentioned that there were Indians, they were all Indians working on that project. Okay, now this is something that is not uncommon to this administration. You go back to 2007 with what happened at Kensington Oval, and Malik outlined that in his song so beautifully. You know, the 14 Indians that were working on Kensington that had no work permit, they had no contract to work there, but they were there working. And so these are things that shows you that the government understands if we want to get our projects done, we can't trust Barbadians to do the project.
I would love to find out, have a survey that shows us how many in the construction boom that we're having, how many Barbadians as opposed to foreign labor is being currently employed.
Good question.
And also, I would like to know when you come to Barbados, do you have to get to work? You have to get a work permit. I would assume that those firms who are and businesses are organizing the employment, they are petitioning government for these work permits for these numbers. So we would like to know how many are. Yes, because they're not going to the office themselves. Certainly.
Exactly.
So that's clear.
Yeah.
So who's processing the documentation on their behalf? You know, it was so upsetting today. I drove through Whole Town, and there's a massive hotel being built there where Discovery Bay Inn used to be. And what was sickening, the guys that are holding the signs for the imported workers to cross our Bajans. So they're the ones holding the sign that says stop or go, while the guys who have been brought in, the imported labor, they are crossing the street. So we have our Bajans making sure they are safe. And, you know, it's gotten to the place where the level of disrespect that this administration has shown for Barbadians, you know, our people have to begin to wake up and realize, you know, from the sewage water in St. Lucie, to, you know, employment disrespect, to the hiding, the corruption, to Mr. Sutherland just resigning on a dime just like that. All this information that is being leaked to the public right now, to the central bank governor trying to make it look as though things are, you know, going well. They're not as good as we would like, but it's still manageable. All of these are things that, you know, the Barbadian public needs to wake up and realize you're being hoodwinked, you're being lied to. And it's only a matter of time before, you know, all of these things initially unfold. I can tell you, I drive through areas here in St. Peter, and I can tell you the unemployment is high. When youngsters are under a shed at 9 o'clock, you pass there at 12, they're still there. 3, they're still there. Come on, how are you getting these numbers? What census did you have to determine that this is the rate, the percentage of unemployment or employment in the island right now? I mean, what have you done? And it's not just in one area, it's in multiple areas, even here in St. Peter. So I really don't know what the central bank governor is talking about and where he's getting his numbers from.
Yeah, well, as Mr. Wood is saying, because someone sent me an interesting critique of what we're doing, that they're not sure what Mr. Wood is saying and what we are saying. So let me just be clear on that. So Mr. Wood, we're at the number 5 point that Mr. Wood is raising concerning this unemployment rate, that the central bank governor is saying that, you know, we are at this record low unemployment rate of 6.1%. And so Anthony Wood is basically insisting that we must account for CARICOM nationals and other foreign workers who now compete for roles previously held by locals. If local skilled workers are being displaced or undercut, that matters. Right? We need a full tally, he's saying. Mr. Wood is saying we need a full tally. How many positions held by Barbadians in major projects, construction, infrastructure, are now being held by foreign workers? What policies ensure Barbadians get the jobs first? Because if we open the door without safeguards, we risk local talent being sidelined. Okay. Now, it's important to mention that the governor says that the governor mentioned jobless claims rose 3.2% between January and September 2025, even as unemployment fell. And Mr. Wood is saying why? Why is that? Why jobless claims rose from 3.2% between January and September 2025, even as unemployment fell? He says why? Possibly because some workers are being laid off while others get jobs. Or because foreign workers are entering and pushing local workers aside.
Right.
All right. So someone just said they wanted to know exactly what it is that Mr. Wood is saying. So if I should just quickly conclude the various points that Mr. Wood is raising concerning this record low unemployment rate of 6.1%. He's talking about unemployment based on the voluntary idle. He's saying that he doesn't believe that the governor is taking into consideration that group. All right, the voluntary idle, and they're not. And what does your unemployment base? What is it made up of? Okay, he's basically saying if hundreds or thousands gave out looking because they feel they're not suitable jobs, should we really say that the job market is healthy? See? Then he talks about the underemployment and skills mismatch, which we spent quite a little time on here talking about. He said when you hear low unemployment, you must ask, Mr. Wood is saying you must ask how many graduates are doing jobs they didn't train for. How much of our labor force is employed but not thriving? Because those are hidden pains, he's saying, okay? We need data on how many workers are part-time but want full-time. How many say their job doesn't match their training? What is the average wage for new graduates? Without that, he's saying we're only celebrating the surface. Labor force participation. Okay? He's saying real labor market health isn't just about employed people. It's about everyone who should or could be employed. If fewer women or older workers are in the game, then the game isn't fair. If fewer women, because we're talking about labor participation, right? Or older workers are in the game, then the game isn't fair. We must demand, Mr. Wood is saying, full breakdowns. Male versus female, labor force participation, age groups, the immigration effect, right? Because pleased as we may be with 6.1%, we might be leaving large groups out of the picture. Youth unemployment, and we talked about that. We want the minister, the central bank, he's saying to publish the youth unemployment rate, the number of school leavers working in jobs unrelated to their training, and how many youth are idle or not working at all. Because if young people are lost, he's saying we all lose, okay? So far, he's saying we're missing those numbers. The headline of 6.1% just doesn't tell the full youth story. And we just discussed with you the displacement and foreign labor. We need a full tally. Mr. Wood is saying how many positions held by Barbadians in major projects are now held by foreign workers, whether it's construction or infrastructure. What policies ensure Barbadians get the jobs first? Because if we open the door without safeguards, we risk local talent being sidelined. This is personal. It's your job, your neighbor's job, the future your children will face. This is basically what he's saying. I know, Paul, you wanted to say something there.
You mean me? Apostle, yes.
Yeah. Well, again, what Mr. Wood is clearly outlining in simple terms is that the necessary assessment has not been done in order for the central bank governor to come up with these numbers. And that's what he's saying, plain and simple.
Correct.
The homework has not been done. So how are you at the point after 9 months of 2025 that you can come with this, with these numbers after it is plainly shown that you have not done the necessary investigation to come up with a credible level? This has to be something that they're just particularly pulling out of the sky. So this spells danger for Barbados because, you know, going forward into the next general election, when it actually comes out or when some other independent body does an investigation in regards to the unemployment in Barbados, and it's shown that the central bank governor, his document and his presentation is so far from reality, then who are we going to be led to believe? So I think the time has come for these type of shenanigans to stop being levied on the people of Barbados and get to the truth of what is really going on. This country is filled with Jamaicans, it's filled with people from St. Vincent, from Guyana, It's full of Chinese right now. It's full of Indians. It's full of people from Puerto Rico. You know, it's Hispanics. I mean, it's pretty much overly populated. You look at all of the projects going on in Christchurch. They're hardly Bajans working on those projects. You know, you go down here in St. James, you'll see the amount of imported labor that's coming in, because the people who are doing these projects in Barbados, and Mr. Bob knows very well about the Paintree project there in 6 Minutes. When you look at the ratio of Barbadian workers versus the imported labor, you can see that there's a vast difference. Okay, and right now I can tell you, and I spoke to a gentleman today, and he particularly told me that these major projects are only employing, you know, Barbadian tradesmen if their credibility is above board and if they have already worked with projects exceeding a certain amount of money. So, you know, it's the whole issue here in Barbados of unemployment has gone beyond just looking at youth and you know, or young men and young women, but we have to look at unemployment right across the board, and how employment is being drafted now by, you know, the mega industry entities that are coming to Barbados, that are involved in these high level and you know, high financial levels here in the island, including the construction of mega projects like we have the Paintree project. You're not going to get with those individuals. They're not just going to, you know, select any and every person to come. They're not just going to select any and every person to be a laborer, because they have certain, you know, standards to maintain and so on and so forth. And it is critical right now that we have other independent bodies that would say, okay, well, this is the number that has been presented to us by the central bank. We're going to do a private investigation into this. We're going to do a census. We're going to do, you know, our homework, and then we'll come back to you by the end of December and give you, you know, what our findings are. But I can tell you, I know that the numbers presented by the current central bank governor, those numbers are totally off, completely off.
Yes. Well, I think we had a caller. I'm going to try to make sure that the guys, the person who was trying to call us while we were going through this presentation, you can feel free to give us a call back. But as someone is saying, I think it was Adrian, that it appears that one would have to ask a question. We can. That's what we're doing on the show. We're asking question: Is Dr. Kevin Greenidge playing politics?
A legitimate question, Marcia.
It's a legitimate question. I mean,
yes, because what he is saying does not meet our reality. So what would influence him to put out those type of figures? What would influence the central bank governor to paint a rosier picture than we are actually experiencing in Barbados? And those are the questions that we have to ask. And if his boss, the elections around, and you're asking for figures, and you're taking into consideration all of those persons who are employed, whether they're foreign labor or wherever they come from, as part of your statistics, then he's not painting a true picture of what is happening in terms of our own Barbadian worker who is finding it difficult to find a job. So I am asking another question: what has led us to seek foreign labor as the first choice? Because you have so many, it has to be the first choice. What has led those projects to seek foreign labor as their first choice and not the Barbados? Because they haven't said anything.
Yeah.
They have not said anything that they're having difficulty finding the numbers of persons in Barbados to fill those jobs on the construction site. But
yes,
tell us what has led you to use foreign labor as the first choice.
Yes. Mr. Bob, we have, thank you for that question. We have a caller on the line. Go ahead, caller. Welcome to the Marcia Reed Show.
Yes, thank you, Ms. Marcia Weeks. My question to the panel, how much people is the 6.1% is? So when I got to talk with numbers, how much people is that? My common sense tell me that's over 6,000 people unemployed in Barbados.
You think
and
so?
6,000 people. Huh?
6,000 people. I mean, we first would have to know what the sample size is, which is what we're asking. This is a question we're asking. Who did you, who is part of the labor market? Who do you, when Mr. Greenidge came up with this percentage, who were included? Yes, who were the people included?
No, we got to look at it this way. We are 280,000 people in this country. We got to know that some is going to school and some is all people. So the workforce then, let me say 200,000 people in the workforce. So 6% of that 200,000 people then could be up to 12,000 people unemployed. So that's how you got to work it out. And we're going to talk about the figures that is being unemployed on. And we'll keep coming to with this 6% and don't talk about people. The people who will not understand these things.
Yes, but sir, what we are saying to you, I understand the point you're making, but what we're saying now, you just came up with a number out of the hat. The question we're asking Mr. Greenidge is your sample size. All of what we're talking about tonight is trying to find out how did you arrive at your sample size. We weren't even looking at numbers. We're asking, did you include this group? Did you exclude this group? That was the process tonight, sir. Because you just pulled a number out of the hat.
But no, I'm not pulling a number. He gave a number. He says 6%, 6.1% unemployed. Why asking you your guessing thing to do and say how much that 6.1% is in people?
Listen, Marcy, I think that he is saying that instead of saying 6.1%, he's actually looking for a number. I can't give you a number, sir. You have to ask Mr. Greenidge. Yeah.
So what you're okay? So I understand he's asking for a number. What I was trying to explain to him is that we could come up with a number, but Mr. Greenidge would have to give us the number because we don't know what the sample size is.
But one should put a number to Mr. Greenidge and then let Mr. Greenidge respond to one of them.
Yeah, well, this is a part.
Yes,
you know, the economists are not economists. You see, and so we're asking the questions as you are asking. Hello.
And then a lot of people too that employed, but really truly they're underemployed. As Mr. Bob said, there's people in this country that working like in the 360 program that can't go and get her loan on them. So they're employed, but yet they're still underemployed. So you still gotta put them into.
Right.
So it needs to be straightened up. As you want to say, it needs to be straightened up. But let me know numbers and figure and people. This 6% is just a blind.
Yeah, and I agree with you. So this is why we're asking. Just a second, guys. This is why to clarify something with the caller. This is why I think what we set out tonight to talk about basically who did you include in that, you see, and that's where we're at, and we could push it further and to say, okay, who did you include? If you could answer that and tell us what's the number you're working with, you know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He could only include the agents. So one should put a number to him and let him know that listen, over 6,000 people in this country are employed, and that's a lot of people in this small country. When you got enough Chinese in here working, enough of them foreign nationals working, but yet you got over 6,000 Asians unemployed, and let you respond to that.
Well, we will see if he will respond. Mr. Wood has been asking him questions. He's the economist, has been asking him questions. Well, let's see if he responds.
But this 6% come up in another administration, Mr. One. I've had a 6% unemployment too. Huh? Happened with Mr.
I have no knowledge of that. I don't have any knowledge of it.
Yeah, it happened before too. Yeah.
Okay.
That's not you. It's just things turning over. I think. All right, thank you, ma'am.
Yes, thank you for calling. Thank you.
Yeah.
Yeah, the caller is making an important point there. I believe. What is it in actual numbers? But it will be as a, you got to know the sample size in order to apply that percentage. And we don't know how he arrives at his sample. Who's in his market then, the labor market for him.
Well, listen carefully to what he said just now, and if you're looking at, a 6.2% already, 10% of 283,000 is 28,300. Just off the top of my head. So if you're looking at 6%, that is close to 18,000 plus persons that are said to be unemployed. 70,000 is a big number.
Yeah. And that's it. And that's what Mr. Anthony Wood is questioning, the claim of record low unemployment. He wants to see how large and how representative that sample actually was that was used, you see? And that I believe that is the question there. You know,
I want to add to this. Every year we have 22 government secondary schools.
Mm-hmm.
The secondary schools, and if we guesstimate that from each school every year, let's say 100 children are leaving secondary school from each of those 22 schools, that's already 2,200. So, and all of them are not going to be going into the workforce right away. So,
yeah,
6,000 is that number is already out the window as far as.
This gentleman just pulled a number, so we don't know, But if it was 6,000, it would make sense. But there's a caller on the line.
Yeah.
Hang a second, please. Caller, welcome to the Marcia Week Show. Go right ahead, please.
Hi, good night, Marcia.
Good night.
This is Commissioner.
Hi, Commissioner.
Well, I finally get back to transportation, so I'll be able to, come visit my marches as usual.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, but what I called for, I question this same unemployment. No, not unemployment. Yeah, this same unemployment that the central bank governor said is at its lowest. I put it that way. Now, we have Pastor Scanderberry there, and he will be able to help me. He's a man of God. I also read my Bible. On the day of Pentecost, when the disciples were in the upper room, afraid of the Jews, you remember the anointing of the Holy Spirit on the disciples, and they started to speak in tongues. And some some speak Persian, some they speak all the languages of the world. I put it that way. And I can't remember our part of it. I can find it, but I don't go around reading that night. But anyhow, it was said that sticking with one, they said that they were drunk. And Peter said that no, it's too early, it's only 9 o'clock in the morning, and we are not drunk.
Right.
Remember that part?
Mm-hmm.
Yes, Acts chapter 2.
Yes, they were drunk. Anyhow, they were said with people from Persia.
From different countries, different countries.
When you go around this country, I see them. I take my newborn between them. I remember one time I was going somewhere, and I said, "What?" They were very strange, and I followed them when they go to buy the lunch. And I parked the road, run out the white in there, not to buy lunch, but I drink a beer to pick up the twang in the languages.
Yeah.
Right. Now, the money that I see and I hear that these people getting, I would never could work for that at that time, at this present moment.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I'm one of them that work harder for less money. I gotta go back into my storeroom. This is the month in November, Independent. And they got some artifacts to show to the children by my day nursery. I just had the power drill, the power saw, the power plane, nothing in power or electricity. All was hand. And I the goodest time of night. With all the technology. So don't forget, I work harder for less money.
Mm-hmm.
I see what happened. The technology is there.
Mm-hmm.
I can't get that tolerated. I cannot get it tolerated. not that the young people don't want to work. I used to curse them, not to the face. I used to say, what he called Paul King Douglas was, you know, in his story, he knew the word. It's not a bad word that you could have thrown in. And the storyteller, the prophet, I call it John the Baptist, discovered the message.
Mm-hmm.
I am vexed with them. When you look at the cost, when you look all around, nobody can cope with it.
Mm-hmm.
No. I gotta raise my hand now. Central Bank government, I want to say you. I could never trust you, the Prime Minister, with the woman they name, from the IMF, she name is Lagarde.
Yeah.
Or Lizard or something like that, the name. And also the union leader. But I want to do something good for us.
Yeah.
The Central Bank government, what you know. I can remember when the COVID started to hit, the people pocket. Have you asked you for a little something, they don't agree the pocket. You tell us that you do that. You can do more harm to the country than good. You ain't do nothing good yet, police.
Yeah.
Good. I can remember when the same COVID, when the purchase, the supermarket started skyrocket like the men that going to the movie astronauts.
Mm-hmm.
And I asked for price control. Control some of the prices. And Brian come and said, no, it can't work. I watching you.
Yeah.
What have you, Miss Lagarde? I will caution. I will have caution here because I know when Christ was on the earth, he never went to temple to deal with them. Now the synagogue, he said, meet me in the market square. So I got messages for them. I can't say on the airwaves, on National Show. I will let them meet them in Fancy Town.
All right.
But deal with them. They let us down. And you guys tell me the country with all this growth and this kind of mega salaries you give people. And turn around, Kurt Humphrey watching you. Not only watching your mouth.
What he say? Well,
the last thing you say
that
what? That we got the resources. That the country got the resources. Right?
Mm-hmm.
And the amount of people that is 65 and more, 65 going to 100. Not the young people. Growing together.
Yeah.
We got the pharmacy together. We just moving into a market. With me all about. You get the nation $300 the other day. I got the nation think that want to give me platinum. Really come again. The $300 that they give me the other day, all I want to give you the other day, I don't know what that is.
Yeah.
I don't, the bright V, the soft throat with brain.
Yeah. Well, Commissioner.
Take that $300.
Yes.
Give it to the old people. every month. They want the election on and so effective from this is October. So this we got November. I can't have them work that fast. But I see from November payday for the pensioners, we can get $300 more on our checks, our deposits, or etc. etc. We don't get nothing. We get the overdrive well. We get it, and then we broke. $300 more a month. This country got so much money, and they want to see you, central bank governor. You say the growth. People like me, so that went to the college of the Prescott at University of Parkinson. I met with a man called the Prescott. I saw we met the flag. Right. We can't count money, but we got education. Give us $300 a month more. They wanted the election. So come November, Ms. Marley, and the other man who's the Minister of Finance,
Strong, yeah.
My grandma just said the word, but he got stink money, give us $300 a month more.
But you know, well, you know, they listen to the show, so we're going to hope that they're listening to us, that they're listening to you tonight, Commissioner.
Excellent.
And for them, you know,
yes.
To get you old people out.
You have a plan for them.
This is that much. We can get it out there.
Yes.
Yes. Point. We can't mark that much.
Yes.
You know, the buses come down to here, but you have the central bank, and come to the street. The thing allows the captain, people come out and let us know that they increase the leaders. All the government and the gathering come down East Coast. No, it's got to stay around. The bus down, the car to come down and get food and drink.
Yeah.
Come in Queen's Park. Think it is morning. Nobody tomorrow they want more than that. Election come to tell me, don't give your trip and vote for prayer. Don't give your trip and vote on prayer. No.
I got you. Well, listen, Commissioner, it's been a pleasure, and I really hope you don't get away. Call us, man. It's a pleasure listening to you.
I don't know what to do. With all this money.
Yeah.
No, you know what got me? I got to talk about here too. This country, when you talk about it, water scarce country.
Yeah, the last point though, Commissioner, because we have to move on. Tell me about that. One more minute and we're done.
It's all that water that is going to spike down. A lot of old people tell me that water could be down in the rim. It's all that water come down to the back of the probe or the Harrison College.
Yes.
Transport more yard, hard road. Right. That water said dam up and there in by Grande prison. And this another gully. I think it went there and there time. That spring water. I can't remember that gully. But when that gully full or can't take anymore, that water now going all down. Think we know about that gully.
Yeah, I know about the one behind the Harrison College. So you only have half a minute. What are you telling us about it?
Here, water, to bring water from the storage. Look, take the water and ban the water and bring it New Market with the water. Now the bell, I know about the bell and I know about New Market. Run back the water. That's what she doing to St. Lucie, because when she started and bamming the water, then doing it for St. Lucie, so then water and bam, that was good to St. Lucie. And they won't got no more water.
Right. Well, Commissioner, I'll tell you what, I would love for you to call back on Sunday. Can you call back on Sunday?
Yeah, I'm gonna live on a Sunday. You know, Sunday is my Sabbath.
Yes. Okay, no, but you can call. You can call then. You can use you could call even though it's your Sabbath.
My Sabbath.
All right, well, call Monday then.
No, I just don't drink my rum. You know,
you're wrong. You say
the church and the angel, the Lord, the angel Gabriel come down with the olive brown. I don't want somebody slick the tongue.
So, Commissioner, you're giving me jokes. You're telling me it's your Sabbath and you stay home and drink your rum?
To do it.
Huh?
All
right. Well, tell you what, we'll talk more about it on Monday, okay? All right. Thank you so much for calling.
Yes, please, ma'am.
God bless you. It's a pleasure.
Yes, please.
All right.
Listen, Marcia, in a sarcastic way, he made a very serious point.
Yes.
We're getting this government telling us, and this is how it appears to the ordinary man like myself and Commissioner. You're telling us that this economy is doing so well. That is why you can come to the conclusion that the country stinks of money. Because economics means financial ability. So they are telling the people of Barbados that we're doing so well economically, but in truth and in fact, we're not seeing that on an everyday basis. We're not seeing it when we go to the supermarket. We're not seeing it because another thing that we have to ask as well is what is happening to our taxes that is being collected from the sewage tax and the fuel tax. Where is it going? And we're trying to find out where, and I want the economists to tell us at some night where taxes should be lodged in Barbados.
Okay.
Speaking of that, we would love, we've tried to get an economist to be on the show, and we've never had one on the show. The closest is Mr. Wood has allowed me over time, to read whatever he has, he's given me permission, but we would like an economist on the show. But I wanted to, before we close, which is, oh my goodness, I want to talk really quickly, guys, about, believe it or not, two things. Let me just touch on two things, and we're going to pick it up on Monday. One is this tax rebate, and I'll take a comment each from you guys, quick comment, and then we move on to this new legislation or policy on transportation that they're seeking to do tomorrow to start November, supposed to start November 1st. Okay. Now, so let's talk about this Christmas tax rebate. Now they're saying that people are to pay up, or you can, if you don't pay up, you can't get the rebate. But I am thinking, I was saying to Mr. Bob today, if I thought that it was people at a certain tax bracket, who would be getting the rebate, or it wouldn't be people that are actually paying taxes. They would not be eligible. I'm trying to understand what it is that the Minister of Finance is asking or saying. He's saying you're going to get this rebate, but only for people who pay up. But I thought that you're getting the rebate because you're at a tax bracket, and therefore you're not going to pay any taxes. Any of you have any thoughts on that, or we want to take it up on Sunday?
Go ahead, Pastor. Go ahead.
Yeah, I mean, I actually don't really know how to speak to something that is so, in my opinion, shady. I mean, if you're offering something, you're offering something, and you really, with all of the other elements that they have in place already, that's pretty much bleeding Barbadians and sucking everything out of Barbados. It's this constant introduction of some way to extrapolate monies from Barbadians who are already leaning in their finances where this government is concerned. I don't know the last time someone said it's over 22 different taxes that are levied on Barbadians right now. Could be a little bit more than that. But, you know, my honest opinion is that something has to be done to assist Barbadians now, rather than find more ways to take more money from them. So, you know, this is crazy, absolutely crazy. And for us as Barbadians to be at this point in our development as a nation, it tells us that something is definitely wrong with the type of systemic government that we have in place at the moment. And that's basically all I have to say about that.
Yeah. Yeah, because this is supposed to be for low income, and we can go into it. I'm just mentioning it tonight, and we can go into it a little bit more, much more on Sunday. We want to go into that much more on Sunday. You know, Mr. Bob, we need to look at that because it's not making any sense. I was telling you, I used to do taxes for people when I was in, that was way back when I used to live in the States, and the whole thing doesn't make sense. And another accountant actually just messaged me, and she was saying this doesn't make sense. It's two different categories of people. So what is he saying? Is he saying that if the people that are supposed to pay the taxes don't pay the taxes, then he can't pay those that need to get the rebate? Because they're two different categories. Am I missing something here? Right. So what is he saying? Right, Black Rose? It don't make sense. It doesn't make sense, and we need to tear this apart on Sunday, because this
sounds so crazy.
It's confused. Yes, Carol, and Black Roses. Tell me. Somebody's saying here that he was just being deceptive. Anyone paying taxes do not qualify to receive the tax rebate of the 1,300. He wants to trick people who haven't paid their taxes. Well, I saw this and I was saying, am I reading this wrong? And am I listening? Because I'm remembering what used to happen is years ago, but it's not making sense. Look at his face. Look like a trickster. You know? I don't understand.
He has not been making sense for a long time now. I think the people in this constitution need to relieve Barbados of him.
Yeah.
He's not making sense.
He's been talking sewage for a long time.
Yes.
Jobby. Yeah. No, this is
been talking sewage for a long time.
So that Black Roses, that's the thing I don't understand. So what is he using? Probably he used a wrong term then. Something sounds wrong here. But we are going to go into this a little bit more. Then the other backward thing is this. Yeah, election around the corner, another trick. So we're gonna, I know we're gonna get back into the bread and butter things on Sunday, but you know, we had to kind of do some stuff around the region and in Africa tonight. But we want to talk as we're closing, gender people. This traffic, this new traffic, what you call it now, plan that is supposed to be in place that nobody knows anything about, not even the people who are supposed to administrate it.
That is true. That you mean the new traffic at some point they go one way?
Yes.
That was announced at Queen's Park.
Yes, the Prime Minister announced it, but here it is that the head of the PSB, I believe, Dave, he is saying that they need to put a brakes on it because nobody knows what to do. They don't know. There's no implementation. This is a phased traffic plan supposed to begin on November 1st. What happened? The Prime Minister, because she's out of the island so much, she just comes and she just announces things.
Another national hero announcement. Only she knows about it.
Yeah.
This is a lot of
how do you do that and you don't take into consideration the stakeholders?
Yeah.
Chilling.
I I am convinced something is wrong here. And if people can't see that you need a change of government, if after this, all that, I mean, just look at this traffic relief, supposed to be a traffic relief, and all of the stakeholders themselves are saying, put a brakes, because we don't know what is happening. Nobody sent us a memo. There's no breakdown. They said we are in the dark. They are in the dark. That's the article is saying, the chairman of the Alliance of Owners of Public Transportation. They are in the dark. This is a ridiculous government.
Oh my God.
You understand? So
Yes,
I don't
ma'am.
even know. I don't even know. But that's
I
it.
think somebody passed a piece of paper. You know, you get a meeting and you're talking. You get a paper that tells you that a car light is on, or somebody needs to move the car. So somebody passed a piece of paper and say the traffic in. Remember that the traffic in. Somebody talk about the traffic coming down the road there. So you gotta say something about it. I guess I cannot believe that you would. I was on the assumption when I first read the announcement that was something that was discussed, and the implementation would be smooth, and not that I see this confusion here that we are saying now.
Yeah. Well, you know, we will talk. Let's get into that a bit more on Sunday. Tonight we did a lot of stuff outside of Barbados, and that's fine because we got to focus sometimes on our neighbors.
And their plight, and how we can help them.
And how we can help them and see what's happening to them. So we know when we see the stuff happening here, we understand the signs. We know what these signs mean. Mm-hmm. And we're asking questions. And folks, we will always ask questions because we will remember what happened during the pandemic. You see, always. That's it right there. Well, we're going to close, guys. What's your final thought for the night before we close? Tonight, Apostle, you look like you're ready to go. Go right ahead.
Well, for some reason tonight, it just came into my mind. Just want to close with two quotes from Thomas Jefferson. Two quotes from Thomas Jefferson. He said, when the people fear the government, there's tyranny. But when the government fears the people, there's liberty. And the second one that I want to quote from him, he says this: a well-informed citizenry is the best defense against tyranny. So
say that again.
He says, well-informed citizenry is the best defense against tyranny.
Mm-hmm. Wow. And that's what we're trying to do tonight. That's what we're trying to do. Educate. Yes. Good point. I love it. Yes. Go ahead, Mr.
I want what the pastor said to sink in. I am not going to say anything to distract from what he says. So say that. So give me those two quotes again, Pastor.
Okay. Thomas Jefferson, he says, when the people fear the government, there's tyranny. But when the government fears the people, there's liberty. And a well-informed citizenry is the best defense against tyranny.
That's it.
A fitting end to tonight's program.
A fitting end. Every single part of it. Thank you all so very much. Thank you. And David's reminding us to vote them out. Thank you all. Thank you so much to Dave. Thank you to Mr. Bab. Thank you, Apostle Scanterbury. Thank you to the viewers. Thank you to the callers, those who are supposed to call me, that we can continue having the conversation. I'm very open to that. And thank you all. Love you all so very, very much. Very insightful night tonight. God bless you all. Bye-bye.
Blessings on you. Take care. Take care. Bye-bye.
Good night. Good night.
You say when labor leads, Bejan succeed. Well, here we now. This the people creed. When labor leads, Bejans bleed. When labor leads, we find we need. When me a lead, we don't believe. Say a gleam.